3, 2. In the past decade, the skills required to become a TV weather broadcaster have changed significantly. Yes, you still need to know how to forecast and make your own graphics, but most TV stations now require their meteorologists to also be news reporters. To prepare our students for this, we've added a section to our second weather communications course, Meteorology 482, on how to produce feature stories, or packages as they're known in the business. This not only includes learning how to write a good story, but also how to conduct interviews properly and how to shoot and edit video. Now, this past spring, the assignment was to go to the Climate Central website, choose a topic, and produce a 90 to 120 second package. Tonight, we're thrilled to show you examples from 3 students from this past spring.
Planting season is right around the corner here in Pennsylvania, so you can expect a bunch of this equipment right here going out into the fields and working for the next couple of weeks. Farming is a lifestyle that has been passed down from generation to generation here in Pennsylvania since the colonial era. Every year, over 59,000 farms from every county of the Commonwealth contribute over $130 billion to the state's economy, where 1 out of every 10 jobs is supported through agriculture. Although an economic powerhouse, agriculture accounts for roughly 9% of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. To meet the Paris Climate Agreement's goal of limiting the rise in global temperatures to 2 degrees Celsius, the U.S. may need to sequester or trap and store 15 gigatons of CO2 each year by 2100, the equivalent of the weight of 10,000 U.S. aircraft carriers. Agricultural soils could provide up to a third of that benchmark, but only if the soil is tended to properly. Reducing tillage is one of the many efficient farming practices that helps soils sequester carbon. Tilling is done before each planting season to loosen up the soil to more easily plant seeds. But tilling also disables the soil's ability to trap and store carbon. A small group of Pennsylvania farmers got together to form the Pennsylvania NoTill Alliance to promote these efficient practices across the state. With increasing fuel prices, labor scarcity, and market opportunities, local no-till farmers are promoting their practices to help other farmers run more efficient operations. With alliances like these, farmers are finding new ways to combat climate change. So the next time you see a farmer, thank them for their work in saving the planet. From the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, I'm Hunter Donahoe.
Year after year, the ocean creeps up a little bit higher on coastlines all over the world. While the change may not be obvious to the naked eye, the results of our rising seas are right in front of us. Beach erosion is a process caused by strong waves crashing up against the shoreline. This process results in sand, rocks, and other sediment getting washed away from the beach. Beach erosion is completely natural, but due to our warming climate and more frequent storm systems, our sea levels are rising and beaches are disappearing at an unprecedented rate. This is extremely dangerous for the millions of people who live on or near the coasts. Powerful storm systems now have a much greater chance of producing catastrophic storm surge damage and flooding to low-lying areas, according to Climate Central. Additionally, in the United States, beach erosion causes roughly $500 million per year in property damages and another $150 million in beach replenishment attempts like dredging.
To see the effects that beach erosion has on our coasts, I took a drive down to Bayhead beaches along the Jersey Shore.
This past winter bombarded the New Jersey coast week after week with powerful winter storms which eroded the beach, along with a massive chunk of the sand dunes. Compared to the past summer, the beach is now roughly half its original size. This trend is expected to continue. After the very active 2020 Atlantic hurricane season and a few potent winter storms, the erosion is only expected to get worse, not just for the New Jersey beaches, but for coastal areas all over the world. From the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Sciences at Penn State, I'm Brian, Michigan.
Flying is a stressful experience for many, and one thing that can add to that stress is a delayed flight. Approximately 1/4 of all U.S. flights are delayed each day, and every minute costs the airport, airline, and their passengers money. Flights can be delayed for a variety of reasons, including air traffic, mechanical issues, and waiting for the crew. But the most common cause of flight delays is inclement weather. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, inclement weather causes 70% of all flight delays and cancellations. Now, thunderstorms, snowstorms, and high winds are well-known causes for flight delays, but there's another less talked about cause that's becoming more prevalent over time: extreme heat.
So an increase in temperature decreases the density of air. So if you have less air flowing over the top of the wing, that will result in less lift being generated. So it's harder for the plane to take off from the ground.
This was an issue in Phoenix, Arizona in June 2017. A Climate Central article says that American Airlines had to cancel 50 flights as temperatures soared above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And as the number of days with heat-related cancellations and delays increases over time, airlines are looking for solutions.
They can either increase the RPMs of the engine to generate more power to get off the ground, or they could decrease the weight of the airplane by reducing the capacity.
A Columbia University study states that by the end of the century, 10 to 30% of flights departing during the hottest hours of the day will require weight restrictions in order to take off. Any restrictions would add more stress and more delays to flying, something that both pilots and passengers want to avoid. From the Penn State Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, I'm Jimmy Wendolek.